TGIF, ladies and gentlemen. Thank God it is Friday. Not that I care, because I'm on vacation. It's my day off. But we do have an awesome show planned. We've got a full house. John, Zach, Adam, Walt. I'm Josh. We're Iron Rome. Have no sphere. Whoa, that ended awfully fast. That was supposed to be a nice, cool, calm fade out. And that just ended awfully abruptly. You know what? I think that just sets par for the course because today has just been an awfully weird day. Since this morning, settings have been goofy. I've just been trying to play catch up. But let's just jump right in. Let's just say hello to the fellas. Mr. Adam Meakin, that Adam Meakin, the Adam Meakin, sir. How was work today? How has your week been?
Been a weird one. It's been fun. Yeah, a little weird with Christmas there and working and the likes, but most of all enjoyed the 2 days at home with the family. Mum and Dad were there and my auntie and that, so wife's family. So yeah, lovely time. And then yeah, a little bit of. I want to do just a little shout out if I can, because I did a little bit of, I've got my OBS issue, like a little bit of OBS, so I've managed to convince Arwin to go OBS, and we had a little bit of setting him up. So yeah, shout out to Arwin's channel. I wanted to mention that as well because he's just short of the 1,000, so not subscribed to Arwin. Yeah. Hit the subscribe button at Arwin, ARWIJN. Yeah, top lad. So yeah, I've had a good week, mate. Started laughing at last week. Really was the best bit with Riley continuing last week's giggles with shout out Refracted. So I enjoyed that. Good to see it continuing.
That's good stuff. How about you, Mr. John Savage? How was your week? How's bachelor life treating you?
Oh, hello. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, had a good week. Had a good Tuesday. Like you say, bacheloring it. It's pretty good, I'll tell you. It means you can just eat your dinner and then halfway through you think, oh, fancy a cigarette. And you can just disappear, have a cigarette, come back, eat your dinner, mooch around, go and regrout the tiles in the bathroom and come back and eat your dinner a bit more. And yeah, no, it's my kind of life at the moment. It's pretty good. But yeah, hard day today. Up early and degrouted the whole bathroom. And I'll tell you what, if you're ever tempted, if your grout goes black and mouldy and shitty, if you're ever tempted to just go over it with white sealant to cover it up, don't ever do that. Your white sealant will then go black, then you're going to have to regrout, then you've got to get the which is 10 times worse than grout. So there's your top tip for the day. And on that note, I'll pass it on and fall asleep.
Very good tips. Don't seal your grout after it's already dirty. Perfect. Makes a lot of sense. I dig it. They actually make some pretty cool little cleaners with like microbial cleaners that you just mix in some tepid water and slosh on the bathroom floor, and all the microbes will get in there and eat and clean that grout for you.
That's a good idea.
It's like a wash and walk, they call it, just because you don't have to mop it up or anything. The point is to lay it down thick and wet and let them do their work.
Hydrogen peroxide as well is another good one. But yeah, the white sealant looks great for about a month, and then yeah, you've just shot yourself in the back.
But I can see how living the bachelor life and just being able to do whatever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want, is awfully appealing.
It is.
As well, someone else who knows the lifestyle is Zachary Zabala. I don't mean to step on you, John. You go ahead and jump right in there. We'll get Zach gather his thoughts. You finish off. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say it's. I like doing plumbing. In case you hadn't noticed, it's nothing nicer than doing plumbing with a spliff in your hand and a beer in the other hand and just taking your time, you know.
John, is there a wrench next to you on the sofa right now?
My tools are all over the house. That's the other advantage. I can just leave everything anywhere. I'm dumping all I've got in the boys' room. I've got a 28-inch pipe bender in the lounge. It's the place is my workshop. So over to you, Zach. Sorry, hogging it.
Zach's muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's been a great week for me. A lot of big, interesting news that I got. Yeah. We'll get into that stuff later. Hopefully, big life change coming.
That's stuff for the second half of the show.
Yeah.
So the second half, 3-hour show. So after the first hour and a half, the second hour and a half, that second half, we're gonna get really into your big life changes. I mean, in a line of life changes that you've made over the last year, I think this one doesn't even compare. This is amazing. So I can't wait. So just make sure you're around for the second part of our show tonight, because it is some awesome, exciting stuff that Zach has got going on.
This ain't just leaving your dinner and coming back for it, is it?
No, it's been better than that.
But I know it's a good week. Finished all my hats that I had ordered. People had ordered and got them sent out today. Been productive. Did some more welding today. Starting to find my groove a little bit with the old MIG welder. It's an art. It really is. It's pretty neat. It's fun to do. That thin steel though, you can go right through it. You gotta be careful.
You got to make some videos, Zach. I'd love to see.
Yeah,
that.
he was recording me today. I'd like to get one where you can actually see it through the welding mask.
Yeah.
So you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's pretty neat though. I'll see if I can't get something figured out.
I've watched hours and hours of videos of welding. That's how sad I am. Never tried it though.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Well, shoot. Zach's laying beads. John's laying pipe. Damn it. Walt, what are you up to?
I was just laying down.
Well,
yes, it wasn't a very napful Friday for me, but we had a great show this morning. I can't wait to get started this afternoon. Hello to everybody in chat. If I haven't said hey personally in chat, don't be offended. I just got sidetracked playing with my keyboard, doing other things, trying to find some stuff for the show. So we got a lot going on. Zach's got some big news, some big life changes. There's a little sprinkling of lettuce. We're going to tell you about January Fool's Day. What's that? But yeah, it's Friday, my dudes. John, I went like nuts when my son was born, trying to get rid of like unhealthy chemicals in my home and using natural ways to clean. And I tried all kinds of things trying to clean grout back in the day: salt, tea tree oil, hydroperoxide, vinegar, the whole. I mean, there's only so much you can do once it sets in. Truly.
Yeah.
There's just only thing to do is get it out of there. So, but that stuff Josh is talking about, I didn't know about that one. So that definitely sounds interesting. Putting nature to work against it, letting it get eat up. So, but I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yep. I think.
How was the rest of your Friday, Josh?
Oh crap. It was good. I didn't take a nap. I didn't even bother to lay down. Oh, I mean, just my mom's still in town. She'll be in town through the weekend, and then she's headed back south to Georgia. So I've just been hanging out with her, hanging out with my son. My son and I played a little bit of Black Ops 2 today on the old PS3. How's that for retro? But servers were still full, so that's nice. Still getting games in. That's nice. I'm just no good. It's been like at least 2 or 3 years since I'd even picked up a PlayStation remote. So it was a sad showing on Black Ops 2.
I hear you. I would hate to even think about what I would do trying to play Halo or anything else right now. Well, I haven't played in 3 years at least.
It had to have been since I got into Flat Earth, because I'd prestiged up a couple of my weapons and I had my card said Flat Earth on it with like a blue horizon. So everybody knew that if I got that final kill, or whoever killed them, if they watched that kill cam, they knew they got shot and murdered. They got murked by a Flat Earther. So.
I fired up my PS2 a couple of months ago with the idea of eventually giving it to the boys, but yeah, it's a flashback in time. I tell you, playing Driver and Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas.
Yes, yes, that's probably the one I'd go play right now.
Assassin and all these other ones, but yeah, like you say, it's been years since I picked up a controller. I don't even think I can play it anymore. Maybe drive, I don't know.
I'm the same, John. I'll tell you what, though, you mentioned there, I wouldn't mind a quick drive around San Andreas and just listen to Laszlo again on the radio. Hey, Laszlo!
Right? Yes.
And spotting all the all-seeing eye symbology and the pyramid symbology and everything.
Hey, I went through that stuff like as like clues and quests and found all kind of hidden alien stuff, and dude, there's crazy stuff hidden in that game.
They're like the Simpsons writers or whatever, or the Matrix, or they know something, don't they?
Or they think
flat, I think.
I think there's definitely a lot of conspiracy theorists in the coders, for sure. Because you find all sorts of.
Still haven't found the entranceway into that mountain yet, though. That's hidden there from that map underneath that thing. But I will find it.
We do have quite a few things on the agenda for this evening, for not having any sort of pre-show this Wednesday. And then being the pre-show we did have was at least on my part.
I have to show off. Yeah, I just have to show off one of my Christmas gifts here. Can you guys see that?
I saw pictures of this. This is a beautiful
Science Theater fans.
I love it. And you said your niece made that?
My niece made this. She painted it by hand, fired it in the kiln, the whole 9 yards. Even the little stars are like raised and bumped. This is like high-end stuff. You can't buy that. That's one of a kind, Mr. Science Theater. Shout out to the Misties.
If we're doing shout out on Christmas presents, then I was moved. My youngest son Archie in work class gave me a little bit like a GI's dog tag sort of shape piece of metal, and in it he'd stamped Dad on one side and then the other side Flat Earth for life, which was just lovely, man. I was properly
That's all.
Yeah. So,
did you get a chain for it? You know, wear it?
Oh, it's on my keys. It's a key ring dog tag, so it's on my keys now. So. Cheers, Arch.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Well, let's see. There's been some hinkiness going on YouTube as of late, from what I hear. I've been a little out of it, entertaining and running around with my mom and just in general enjoying my time not being at work. But from what I've heard, there's some crazy stuff going on over on what's that? Well, there's several channels that this is happening to. Nathan Oakley, 1980. What's that? Oakley Cord. There's one more. What was it? Damn it! I thought I had them all.
Flat Earth Debate channel.
Flat Earth. Let's see, how stupid am I for not knowing that?
Shortly lived.
But yeah, so Adam, you probably know a little bit about this hinkiness that's going on than I do. I'm just catching everything on the fly here before we're getting started. So fill me in. What in the hell happened to all of Nathan's channels?
Well, it appears to be quite a well thought through attack, for being honest. It started with his first channel a while ago, weren't it? People, you'll have heard Nathan saying he got some community guideline strikes for some stuff where he talked about 9/11 in one debate 2.5, 3 years ago. So he got a few for those, and that's why he wasn't using the Nathan Oakley 1980, his original main channel. That's been stopped from live streaming. He's still had the Christmas shows and premieres that he's put on, and then subsequently he's been using those other channels, the Oakley Cord and Nathan Oakley channel, and they've had copyright strikes put against them that stopped it. And then I think today he's used his fourth final channel, and I think if anyone knows, it was you'd have seen it before, or if you go to his channels list, it was the Audio Paula channel, and that was renamed Flat Earth Debate, and I think that lasted about half an hour today. I don't know if anybody else saw its brief life and death.
I did not catch it.
No, I went looking for Nathan's debate today and noticed it was conspicuous by its absence. Didn't know what been going on though.
Yeah, so as I was watching it today, I saw something like Samoan travel copyright or something flash on the screen, and then the link went down. That could be a flashback. I don't know, but basically the channel went down after about half an hour of it streaming. There's quite a few snide comments in there already. Why you're not able to get super chats and etc. etc. But there was still a good following already. I think it was just short of 100. It might have been more, not sure exactly, but I remember thinking for a chat. I remember thinking it was about 80 odd when I saw it, because I was thinking, well, this channel's got more live viewers than it has subscribers. So that's kind of what's happened to date in terms of what we've seen. And basically what's happened today is it's not like your standard copyright strike, which is done through YouTube, saying that's my content. It's a lot more Machiavellian than that. It appears it's come from some company that's just basically said, that's my bloody material. And that's then put it into out of YouTube's hands, it's straight into the realms of legals, so they have to suspend the stuff. So there's nothing Nathan could do. I know he has responded, challenging it. So that's kind of where it's at, where it will sit, following their 7 days to respond, 10 days to come back sort of rules. So that, as far as I'm aware, is where Nathan's channels sit at the moment. They sit pending this copyright and the challenge to it. But like I said, it has come not from a standard YouTube, it's come from a registered company that said that's our content.
Has he got a backup channel that he's going to broadcast on?
Well, there's 4 there. I'm not aware of any more. I don't know.
So he hasn't got a contingency, or?
Well, I suppose you can always go and make more channels, can't you? Nothing's stopping you just starting up another channel, I suppose. But not that I'm aware of.
It'll be a shame to stop the debate, even if it's just for a couple of weeks.
As it sits, I don't think there is that's where it sits at the moment. Oh, channels are down.
So here's what you do: is you start up an LLC, and you have the software that's going to go ahead with these bots, and the bots are just going to crawl through all the YouTube content based on specific identifiers as set by you for your bot. And as soon as it finds some of this content, this media, then the bot will alert you, and you can go ahead and claim that content as your own. And that's how people with content to claim can claim it. They are not going to sit there and search every effing video that comes out on YouTube every day to make sure that their stuff isn't in there. It's all automated. The thing about YouTube is, though, oh, come on. Silly ass dogs. The thing about YouTube is that they automatically defer to the person making the claim. All right. So if this Joe Blow who created this LLC, who created the software that put the bot out there, says, hey, Nathan Oakley's voice in his 1980 channel, that's my content. YouTube says, oh, that's yours? All right, well, we'll just take it down then. And then it's up to Nathan Oakley to then contest it and hopefully win because, it's obviously his and not anybody else's. So it's possible for you to sabotage a channel that way just by setting up parameters to however you want. So you can just make sure you're getting somebody else's stuff, claiming it as your own until YouTube says, well, that person is just stealing and that's wrong. So they pull the whole channel like they've done with Nathan's.
It's just like with Google and their Hangouts and how they leave the back door open for the sniping and the porn bombing and everything else. I mean, I'm seeing a pattern here, yeah?
Yep. They certainly don't seem to make it user-friendly. They don't seem to protect their content creators. Well, I suppose it just depends on how you're looking at it, because there's a lot of legit people out there trying to protect their content from people stealing it and using it on YouTube. So I guess just because they're claiming a copyright content strike doesn't make it bad unless it's completely and utterly false. Now, I know Nathan uses some things to share on his screen rather than giving out his Hangout address and getting sniped. So I suppose maybe one of those videos might have been something that they're claiming the content for. But that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that Nathan might be using third party that would qualify for a violation like that.
And he's usually pretty meticulous about it as well, about anything he's sharing to keep it to a very minimum time.
So I asked him that. I said, is it some of your sunsets and things like that? And no, they're all Ranty's, Riley's kind of stuff. From what I can tell, this isn't a claim of him plagiarizing somebody else's in any way YouTube content, even running it in the background. It seems to be a direct claim that this content on the screen is the claimants, which is really odd. It's not come in the direct YouTube channels. It's come as a direct, like Sony would. If somebody was playing one of their films, yeah, it's not YouTube material, but it's their media, and that's the complaint that's come in, which is why it's just pulled, not subject to monetization or any claim like that. It's just straightforward. Been pulled under, like he was streaming a live fight or a movie, a current movie sort of thing. That seems to be the nature of the attack.
I reckon it's Ranty. Or Riley.
Well, I'm just looking at chat because I have an extra screen for a chat window, and I see Constance Bruin. And she's saying that, Arwen, please let Nathan know that the server is free of censure. And she cites this server called forthewoke.com. And then Joseph369 says, for the woke any good, Constance? And it says Joseph369, as far as I know, yeah, it's a legit group of people thumbing YouTube censorship. Says you post something over there and at least 20 people will know, and it'll spread like wildfire. So it's always looking for other platforms, something maybe a little bit the next evolution of where to take this, since YouTube is not going to be the place in perpetuity. We have to figure out something new.
I'm seeing numerous sites like that coming up. Woke sites, video hosting places. There's definitely going to be some kickback from this, and I say let YouTube do what they want, and we'll just leave in our droves, I think.
Absolutely. And it's just proof positive that you need to make sure that you're backing up your own content off of the internet onto an actual physical hard drive. And then you unplug that hard drive and you store it. Then you get a new content, you plug your hard drive back in, refresh it, download the new content, and then unplug it again and store it away.
And download other people's content as well. I mean, look at My Perspective and Crow and stuff, who've had, well, My Perspective took his down, so there's always that risk. But Crow had all his stuff wiped.
Yeah, I learned the lesson this week. I went back to go find an old Casey Josh video of the moon being like really different and shaped weird, almost with columns built into it and shit on his video. That video I sent you this week, actually, in the chat, guys, and was similar to it. It's what made me go look for the old one, and it's not there. His channel's gone. All the good videos he used to have are gone. Is anyone hearing that weird back echo or something going on?
Yeah, a little bit there.
And it just was happening in the middle, not usually at the beginning. I mean, it usually happens at the beginning. Anyway, so yeah, definitely get your stuff. If there's something you've been going as a go-to and this is a video you share with everybody, get a copy. Get it off the internet because they are trippingly taking stuff down. Obscure, crazy. I mean, like Casey Josh had no viewers back in the day. I don't know if he ever blew up a little bit, but his channel was really out there and really off the wall, and I'd never seen it get hit, and then suddenly it's all gone. So he's got a new channel up, but all the old stuff's not there.
Well, speaking of that, we're sacking Skype, aren't we, Josh?
Indeed, we are.
I'm not sure if it's wise to put out what app we are using, but we're moving away.
I think it's pretty secure. I don't think it would be sort of...
It's like giving out your address, though, isn't it? It gives some people a place to complain. I don't know. I'm paranoid like that.
I'm with you on that one, almost on that, John. Yeah, they don't need to know. We got a secret. We got a trick. We got a new weapon.
Let's just say that the issues that we've had with Skype, whether the way Skype displays itself, so you never know who's talking because it just doesn't adequately display or show who it is that's speaking at any given time, or it's the way Skype is interacting with OBS, or the way it's going out over YouTube, or the way it just displays itself to all the viewers, to the people in the call. I don't know. We've just had several issues with latency and audio and goofy stuff. So hopefully this new platform, this new conferencing software is going to make things a little bit easier, make things a little more smoother, a little more polished, a little bit more refined.
One click closer to perfection.
That's right. Click closer.
You guarantee we'll cock it up though. If there's a way, we'll do it.
But we'll do it with style.
Aye.
I'm looking forward to being smoother.
Flatter.
Cleaner, stronger.
We are not alone.
I will say this for all the P900 and P1000 owners. This is going to be the ideal platform. I'll just say that.
Cryptic.
Yeah, lots of fiddling next week with that, I think.
I really don't think it's going to be all that much. It really seems really simple. I mean, it's as easy as what we've done this far, I think.
As long as you don't need a fondle slab to run it, I'll be all right.
You do not need a fondle slab.
Excellent.
Though if you do have a fondle slab is all that is required. If that's all you need, all you want. We are cross-platform. And I do believe we will have multi-international call-in numbers. So,
very cool. Speaking of multi-platform, I've just seen that David Weiss's Sun and Moon Flat Earth app is available for Android now, apparently. Before it was just only on iPlayer or some thing.
something.
And it's free, I think, which is always a bonus.
That is, unless you're Crow 777. Nothing is free.
Fair enough.
You are the product.
Yeah, there's probably some, knowing Weiss, there's probably some hideous tracking software on there and
GPS points,
yeah.
recording phone calls, opening your microphone at any given time, downloading pictures, using your camera. That's probably.
Got to get his shekels.
I mean, who's going to look at that shit anyway, right? We're just a bunch of dumb flat earthers. You can probably do it and get away with it.
Yeah, Sergeant.
Right, sarcasm.
Sergeant did well. No one noticed that, did they?
Nope. Not a ripple in the pond, so to speak.
So just put out Oakley's channels again.
Well, it's just, yeah. It was Nathan Oakley 1980. That's the one where, obviously his main channel is Nathan Oakley. Oakley Cord. Flat Earth Debate.
Is Oakley Cord a Discord server or something? YouTube, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
YouTube.
cool.
On that, it's interesting because the guys, myself included, were dealing with some of these observations ballers been throwing around. This Pikes Peak one came up all this winter, and I do think it has a lot of pertinent points, and it might be another one of the reasons why they're poke the bear a little bit, as you would say. Sure. How you guys can see this? Can you see the YouTube channel?
Delayed, yeah. Delayed.
Yeah, how delayed? Can you see YouTube?
Yeah. Delayed.
I'll make it.
It's teeny tiny. I can't even see it on YouTube. I can see it, but it's teeny tiny. Can you make it full screen? Bet you can't.
It's full screen there. So we've got this Pikes Peak observation, which is basically, I don't know, what are the numbers? 2,699 meters. Sorry, 1,693 meters of sea level.
All I'm seeing on YouTube is like the corner of a document. I'm not seeing anything that I can really make any sense
I'll
of.
have to shrink it a little bit. It's only the.
But well done for going full screen. I didn't think you could do that.
Right thing, but you can see the there. So we've got this observation, and basically there's a 2,600 difference between the observer height and the top of the peak. But the way the ballers have, and this is really just kind of an interesting change of way of viewing things, which seems to fit with reality, and it just shows again how baller maths, simplified baller maths, has been kind of hoodwinking us, certainly not representing reality. So we've got the observation on the bottom there. As we can see, we're 1,600 foot up, and we're looking at a peak which is 4,000 feet up. The height difference of 2,006 times. Now, traditionally, what kind of has happened? Bring in window. Is the way this is calculated using their metaball here is what they've said is, right, well, I'm 1,000 feet up, and the hidden's that far away, and therefore there's only this much hidden. And the way they get to see so much is because of the height. So obviously the lower you are, the more hidden occurs. And in this bit of maths, they've been obviously saying that they're using this 1,000 feet above sea level in maths. And that says, well, you should see a lot more of the mountain you would ordinarily do on the ball. Now, if I go back to these top pictures here, this is kind of how we imagine it, the middle picture, what we should be seeing, and kind of what happens if it was on a ball looking straight across. But the reason for this is what we're saying is they need to recalculate their maths. Because as you can see here, at the left-hand side, you've got the observer looking at the peak. But basically, you can see, you draw the straight line that conspiracy cats like to draw is early mass. What you actually see is underneath, look, we've got solid land. Okay, so if we're actually going to do this correctly, actually we haven't got a ball of 6,371 kilometers. Over this bit of observation, we've actually got a ball look of 6,732.633 kilometers in radius. So actually that's what we should do. So to actually go back, change this calculator with that very, 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 very tiny difference. But instead of having the observer height now at the 1,000, which generates a much deeper angle to reduce the hidden height, we've actually got to have it relative to where the observer actually is in the ground that sits underneath him at the observation. So what we can say is that we could put, say, 6 foot in. Say he's holding the camera at eye height. If we do that, what happens? We basically miss by a long way up the mountain. That well underneath. Can't achieve the angle downwards. To do so, if they want to use those numbers, as you can see, to try and use a downward elevation angle that's like that down, instead of much straighter like this, would require them to be seeing straight through their supposed bulge. So that's kind of the principle that really does blow their ball maths away even further, or if they want to use it, forces them to use it based on the reality they're purporting it relates to. It's unfortunate. There is all land under here. There is a ball, slightly wider radius. Therefore, you can't have 1,600 foot observer height. It gives you this dodgy angle, enabling you over a curve. Aren't that high. If you were this 1,600 high, can you imagine, look, that basically the land curves above this height? Yeah. So we basically reset. That's the best angle you can achieve. 6 foot. Right. I'm done, guys.
That
I'll
was
let Zach comment on that because I'm falling asleep not listening to you, Adam, and it's just I'm utterly knackered. My brain isn't working tonight.
Got grouting fever.
Sorry about the background noise, guys.
That's all right. It's the best comment I received on that, Zach, to be honest.
It was almost as coherent. Why don't we ask, what's his name?
Walt?
No.
I'm
Hawking.
Josh. Zach, that's Walt. This time. Thought we have better questions.
No, it must have been
Moving
such a
on.
good summary. Did it make sense, guys? First, did you get what I'm saying? You can't.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm sorry. I'm busy trying to get my kratom together here. I was watching fully, even on YouTube, left it running, heard it double. I got it. I'm there.
That's the worst excuse for you disappearing when I did maths ever. I was getting my kratom.
Dude, I told you as I went live. I have my pill making kit here. I got my capsules. You see them? My capsules. I'm ready. Now,
So
but I
why
watched
did
the whole
you
thing,
reduce
and I do get it. Except, okay, what's your question, John? Because I have one too.
No, you go, because I'm in
Okay,
your head all the time.
I thought we
Probably the same one.
dispensed with that whole looking through the bulge thing long ago, though. Are we back with that? That's where I lost it there because I was having trouble with my.
No. Because if you bring it, let me just bring the horizon back to top. Okay, so if you're standing on top of the ball.
Wait, let me start it again. I stopped it. Hang on. Okay, I'm watching. Go.
So if you're standing on top of the ball up, but you're at 1,600 meters in the air, a little bit of hidden. But there isn't. You're not 1,600 meters in the air, are you?
No, right.
There's land 1,600 meters high underneath your feet from you to the mountain. So the reality is, do the maths. What you have to do is, in the calculator, change the number 6371 to 6372.6, which, let's say, makes sod all real difference. So you can basically use this calculator still. But what you have to do is reduce the observer height to the height that the observer is above the land. Now, the only exception is if, for whatever reason, we were looking over, say, the Grand Canyon or something, or we were standing on Dover looking at Calais over the cliffs, that you would have to take into account that actually it does drop from the observer to sea level. But in this Pikes Peak observation, you can see that isn't the case. The land is all there. Therefore, it would wrap around that sea level ball and give you, fortunately, not this high angle, which allows you to see over the supposed obstruction, the point of intersection, your eye line with the horizon, which is, you're able to increase the higher you are. Obviously, the lower you are, the less you can look down, because the looking down is the point where your eye meets the supposed curvature. It drops away. So the lower you are, the less of an angle you can create.
Did you have a question, John?
I did. So when you reduce the observer height to 6 foot, say, because they're 6 foot above the land that they're on, shouldn't you reduce the height? Shouldn't the height of the target be reduced proportionally?
Yeah. So if you look here, the actual height of the peak, Pikes Peak, above sea level is 4,000 odd. So what you do is you take the 1,600 away from both the height of the peak and the height of the observer's at. Okay, so basically the observer's now at 0 plus the 6 foot we've given him that he's not laying on the floor. And therefore the relative height of the peak is 2,669.
Okay, I didn't
and then
realise.
Underneath here, look, underneath that peak and that middle section is another curve, which is exactly shorter in the radius by 1,600, which relates to sea level. But like I said, there's all land there.
Cool. Yep, makes sense.
only have a 6.
I got that. Makes sense to me, man.
Trouble being, it means you don't see any of them out.
Well, of course, we know that in reality, everything is worse. In the worst case scenario, when compared with these tools, and I wouldn't recommend anyone use meta junk nonsense. Not since Dr. John D destroyed Mick West with his flippant comments.
Here.
Not since we have a better, more accurate formula that just needs to be coded into a calculator.
It is more proper. Well, I mean, both of those, and this is the point, both of those are geometric calculators. They're not, as said there with John D's, they don't take into account anything else. Obviously, Metabunk's reports to Dr. John D's kind of shown had no response to. It doesn't. Arbitrary 7/6R, which is backed up slide. And that's the real point coming out of all this. As more and more of these are done, you kind of find more and more flaws in and weaknesses in it. This is just another one that actually, if we are taking a landmass which is at all above sea level, actually we do have to adjust the calculator significantly for it to at least calculate geometrically what we're seeing. Mustn't be biased. Make sure that maths is correct, not just accept it. It gives us a really favourable result. The observation. There appear to be a few non-responses going off on this one again.
They're never going to agree, though, are they? I mean, let's face it, their job is to deny everything with plausible deniability and often case nonsense. Doesn't matter what you do to the diehard ballers, they will remain ballers.
Well, I agree, but I think the lack of response is the thing that most intelligent people, or anyone that's watching it, that follows the debates and sees, nobody's daft, are they? It's quite obvious. If they refuse to respond to a point directly, it speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Well, I think personally, it spoke volumes about 3 years ago, and I don't give a shit what they think or how they calculate anything. It's just nonsense to me.
Anyway, enough of that then.
Hit that tumbleweed sound card.
Sorry, I'm just trying to catch my breath.
No, I have to say I'm with you, John. Adam, I love the math. I love all the detail and how precise and perfect it is. But at the end of the day, it's just measuring an object that isn't really there. And I understand why you do it. But I'm with John. It's just not something I'm focusing on as much, just because it's not there.
I don't want anyone to stop doing it, because this is the stuff. This is the bricks and mortar.
Mm-hmm. Horses for courses, gentlemen.
This is the sort of thing why Nathan's channel has probably been targeted and taken down. It's the real foot soldier in the trenches, on the vanguard battlefront stuff, and I don't have the stomach for it anymore. You sort of feel like you've done 10 tours of duty already in the last 2
I
years
think
of
that's what
Twitter.
it is. The whole year of just being a comment warrior in the comment sections of Jaren and people like that. And having like 300 something thread comment sections going on for days on end, just arguing with trolls.
I mean, I when I switched over to my my current Twitter account, I think I had about 300 tweets. There's over 50,000 now, and
Wow.
I'd say 99.9% of them are arguing with ballers and PhDs and quantum physicists and all these other people. It just wears you down. But you listen to Riley, and I know you've got a taste for it as well, Adam, and it's just it's great to hear. I love it. I think it needs to be done without a doubt. It's just beyond my patience.
I don't go on Nathan's to engage with ballers, mate. To be honest, it's something I've no desire to. I'm happy to mess about a little bit with Alan B and PMOS, but they're just, they're not even there to talk flat Earth. They're just there to distract. And Alan wants to have a chat about a bit of cake or something, then so be it. Humour them along. But no, I've got no desire for raging arguments, folks. I'm happy to talk with people sensibly, but that's not Nathan's arena, is it? It has attracted the worst of them. And to be honest, he's battered them all. He's inserted R. And I don't think they like it. And this is sadly their last card is to cheat.
Take him out. No, I think I'm surprised actually with Nathan's channel that because of the nature of its free for all, I would have thought it would have turned out like the only thing I can think of is Poncho Pete's channel from 2 years ago, because I think that's the last time I sort of listened to it, where they were just yelling and screaming at each other, and it was just mayhem. But hats off to Nathan for being able to actually conduct a channel where you do get some interesting conversations. I mean, when I say in conversations, more sort of stamping on heads and not letting the ballers obfuscate from something they've claimed or something they've said. And I think that's exactly what needs to be done, is to hold their feet to the fire on blasé statements that they make, like Mick West and Dr. John D, taking him to the cleaners for his comment, which when you reach the level of self-proclaimed science guru Mick West, then any comment you make is going to be taken very seriously by a lot of people who have that sort of leader mentality. It needs to be done. It's absolutely needs to be done. But it's hard work for listening sometimes.
It is. It's got to be hard work even doing. I can't imagine. I mean, I couldn't. Like 3 days off. So I guess Monday was my first official sort of day free. And I dove into just Twitter a little bit. And it reminded me why I don't deal with the trolls and the distractors, because it's just a complete waste of time. I mean, it's one thing when I first started to see the same people after 6 months asking the same stupid ass questions, trying to make flat earthers look stupid. But I go back 2 years later and they're still there.
Where's the edge?
Same stupid question.
Show me a picture of the edge and I'll be a flat earther tomorrow.
That works. I'm so tired of hearing the map. The map. Show me the map. It's like, show me your map that works. I don't know if you've done any research into cartography at all, but those are close approximations at best, Jay. Sorry.
And that's speaking of Nathan Oakley, but there's your reification fallacy right there.
We can predict eclipses. You can only do that on a ball. Moron.
I can draw a triangle on a ball. It's got to be a ball. That's one I love too.
Yeah, what is it? Go 1,000 miles in one direction, turn 60 degrees, go 1,000 miles. Okay, right. So when did you do that then? What else do they come out with?
The one that I've seen in Nathan's chat recently from it's Conspiracy Cats is take it to the press then.
Yeah, I've heard that.
How many articles do we need to show them? This has been in the press. It never went away. It's just blown up the last 3 years.
Well, you'll get a Nobel Prize if you're right. Why don't you write a paper and get peer reviewed?
But they are becoming less and less. They are a sigh now, aren't they, really? They're not something that you want to even address because, like I say, it's not like, unlike us, it's not like they've developed. Or Josh said it's the same rhetoric, same straw man point that they're still sticking in. They've got nothing new. But I said I don't engage in the chat, but I think, you know, with stuff like we're doing here, there is a point, unfortunately, for someone sitting down with a pen and some paper and showing how they're fibbing and leading people. That is the point, really, where they've come to. Not just these dirty tactics, Nathan, but what you're seeing is misleading pictures, false mathematics, manipulated numbers, accidental digits the wrong way round, and kind of what they've had to resort to.
But the thing is, Adam, you wouldn't have looked into it or investigated it as deeply as you have, not just you, all the guys, well, all of us, unless the ballers had raised it. So I'd like to give a shout out to the ballers and the trolls for actually raising it, because I was the Muppet, well, not the Muppet, but the one that would, you know, they'd raise something, I'd go away and I'd research it and get the facts right and get this, that, and the other and see the complete flaw in their argument and give them a pummeling on Twitter. Whether anyone saw it or not, I really don't know. But lots of people DM'd and said, you know, it's great, keep it up. I don't know how you do it, or yada, yada, yada. But, yeah, shout out to them, because I think we need them to still
in my head again, John,
raise these issues, so as we can put them to bed. And that's exactly what they do. Sorry, mate.
No, that's cool. I thought you were done. Early on, one of my best mates, Trippy McGee, hasn't been here in a while in chat, but his sister and I actually engaged on this all like within the first probably 2 months, 3 months of me really starting to do research. And she threw me so many questions. Well, what about sniper bullets? Well, what about, you know, you name some of the early stuff that you get into. And I had to go find it. I had to go search it out. I had to go find the flaws and show it to her. And I mean, that's what got me talking to you guys on Twitter. I never would have gotten on Twitter and you know, kind of shown my hand at all, because I would never been as secure in the knowledge of both models if it hadn't been for her pushing me to go find out, how do they see the Southern Cross in the South area all, you know, at once? Well, go look up the actual times, and they don't, you know, and all this kind of stuff.
That is it. Let me correct that. Not a shout out to the flat earth trolls, but a shout out to those who aren't trolls but are willing to ask questions, because that's where it sort of pushes you. I've got a guy in America who's highly religious, and we got chatting. We're good friends. I'll give him a shout out. It's Tim Patterson. And he was emailing me, and we were emailing back and forth, and he was asking me legitimate questions, and you don't want to just come back with a a short tweet saying, look it up yourself, you retard, or something. You want to be able to, they've reached out to you and asked you questions, and you want to be able to give them decent answers. So it's those guys that really prompted me to research what I was claiming and be able to give evidence to those arguments. So yeah, the trolls are just a waste of space most of the time. That like you said, Zach, they ask the same bloody questions, or Josh, I can't remember who it was, but yeah, 3 years on, and they're show me the edge. If it was flat, my cat would push everything off it.
I've not heard that one.
Oh God, really? You not heard that one?
I've not.
Oh God, I've heard that thousands of times. And the other bollock one that people put out and chuckle to themselves, thinking they're so fucking original, by saying the Flat Earth Society's got members all around the globe. And you just do a search on Twitter for those words, Flat Earth Society's got members all around the globe, and you'll see hundreds, if not thousands, of other people putting out exactly the same thing. I put a tweet out about it once. I got bored after something like 50 or 60 accounts that tweeted exactly the same thing, and you just think, I don't know what you just think. I'll leave it there.
Chocolate in chat said it was the Batman and Joker relationship. That's perfect. That's a perfect analogy. I love it.
That is good.
Josh, you were saying something earlier about, and they're still pretending it's not relevant, etc., etc. But you were saying you had a little look on Amazon. The difference.
My betrothed happened to be taking a look. I was kind of waiting until Martin Leadcom maybe showed up in chat. I don't know if he's doing something or what's going on, but I was hoping he might show up before I mentioned that I ordered one of his watches and just got it in the mail yesterday.
Oh, you got it.
I did finally get it. And it's a beautiful little timepiece that I will be wearing with pride. But it had came and it slipped my mind. I didn't think to tell my girlfriend that my watch had come, because I'm sure she would have wanted to see it because she's just as curious and she'd appreciate it. But she just happened to be looking on Amazon. And she says, have you been on Amazon lately? She says, I was on here not too long ago, and there just really wasn't anything flat Earth. But I'm looking now, and there's just pages and pages of flat Earth stuff here on Amazon.
Michelle said the same thing. She got me a shirt, and she said, my goodness, like a year ago when I was trying to find stuff for you, I couldn't find anything. But now it's everywhere. So, yeah, it's definitely blowing up.
But you don't have stuff on sale. Ask these people to buy it. You don't get loads and loads and loads of people selling loads of stuff. Unless people have been selling it. I thought that's interesting. A lot on there.
I'm playing catch up in chat. Arwin just said, newbies will demand a complete replacement of Google search engine from a flat earther. Yeah, I love it. Yes.
They will.
Oh my goodness. Show me the core. Yes, indeed. The core, that melting iron, spinning, magnetized, highly heated, defying the Curie effect.
What core I need is a t-shirt. Right. Shirt with that little cross section of the Earth with the thick, chunky nougat center core. And then it says, show me the core. But parenthetically at the end, I'll put a Y right there. And then I'll just hyphenate the show me, because I'm from Missouri, because it's so it'll just be
that's brilliant.
I'll be right.
My God, that's brilliant.
Actually, it's a bastardization of a t-shirt my dad made for my sister and I when we were little tiny kids, little baby t-shirts in a head. If you remember, once upon a time there was a guy floating around the community. His name was Tesla's Apple, but he had a logo of like apple core, and that's what the T-shirt was. It was an apple core, and it said "rotten to the core." And then my dad just took a Sharpie and added a Y to it, and gave my sister and I each a T-shirt that said "rotten to the Corey" on it.
Nice.
Whilst we're doing little stories, because we've only got, what, 20 minutes to go
Yeah, about that.
before the break, I've lined up the space lettuce window.
Well, before we jump into the space lettuce, I wanted to get into something because we'll maybe round out this show with some space lettuce and pick up on the next with some space lettuce, and we'll just use it to buffer. Because I think I can probably eat up this 20 minutes pretty quick. Walt and I were doing our show, The Ironworks, over there on Truth Frequency Radio. That's right. This and every Friday and Tuesday mornings, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. to noon, Greenwich Mean Time. Anyway, we were just going over stuff, and it was just sort of some live production going on. We were talking about the story of, because here on the Realm, we don't ever celebrate the new year in the dead of winter, right? So if we're saying Happy New Year, you can rest assured it's not going to be in the middle of wintertime. It's going to be when everything is sort of new, right? There's new growth, there's new trees, there's new buds, there's new love in the air, and that's when the new year starts, and that's when we like to celebrate it. And we were talking about, the whole celebrating it on the vernal equinox on the 23rd, and then it used to be like a week-long celebration, and that's where the term April Fool came from, because once the fundies got a hold of all the celebrations that those silly pagans were doing, they had to make them look stupid. So if you were celebrating the new year according to the silly sky clock, then you were just a fool. And that's where April Fool's Day came from, was for all the idiots that still believed that was when the new year started, was when everything else was starting anew.
Is that where it came from?
I do believe that's what I've read.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
It's interesting.
And I thought, well, shit, who's the real fool here? Are the people that think that the new year starts in the dead of winter?
Well, it can only be 4 times of the year, can't it? If
you would think,
in honesty, it can only be either the solstices or the equinoxes, because that's
when the reset happens in the sky.
Well, it's observable, exactly.
Yep.
It's observable. It repeats every year.
Right.
It's on time. If you had no internet, no clock, no other way of knowing what the hell was going on around you, if you observed the sun or the moon or both, then the new year could only be on one of those 4 occasions. So the 1st of January is none of those 4 occasions. So who's the fool?
That's kind of what Josh was thinking.
I'm not sure if I agree with the March-April New Year, but I'm tending towards the solstice, the winter solstice. I'm thinking because it's died.
No, it's not. You're right no, it's because you're in the middle of winter. You're not
That's
dead,
midwinter.
you're dying.
That's not the end of winter.
You're geriatric.
No, I'm not saying it's the end of winter. I'm saying it's the end of the year, and then the sun starts moving back up. So it's just a personal preference, but I would opt for the winter solstice as being the end of the year at the start of the year, or new year. But that's just me.
I thought it was to do with the breaths of the earth. The first intake is in spring. New intake. The end of the exhalation is at spring as well. The intake of breath is the summer, and the outtake of breath is winter. That starts at spring.
But to take a breath, though, Adam, to take a breath is a reverse of breathing out, is the reverse of breathing in. Yeah. So I would say that if you were looking at the sun and its path, then its breath would be when it's over the tropics, when it's over Cancer and Capricorn, because it's the highest, it's the closest to the north, it's the furthest from the north, and that's you're sort of taking the breath at midway in between the two. That's why I put more emphasis on the solstices than the equinoxes.
This was probably less to do with the solstices than to do with like a Gaia theory, that it's the rhythm
Life
of the earth.
right.
Yeah.
That was a gorgeous way to explain it. I'd never heard that the breathing ideas with the seasons. That was awesome. I really
And
dug it.
actually, John, I do see exactly what you're saying, and hadn't looked at it that way, but it just feels more in tune with nature for me.
Well, it's sort of like saying the new day starts at 12 in the afternoon, when it's at high noon, rather than the new day is darkest before the dawn, and then the dawn, and then so you've got this really cold period, which is December, January, February, but it was the beginning of life from the day after the solstice, the winter solstice. It started coming back again. It's almost fully fledged by the equinox, the autumn, spring equinox. But that, I can see what you're saying. That's when everything boof is into life. But it had to change at some point from the winter. I don't know. It's an interesting thought discussion.
Well, here's where I was going with it. With all of the silly jokes and pranks and stuff that goes on, and it's a pretty widely celebrated, I don't know if you could call it even a holiday, but something that's recognized by a multitude of people, is the April Fool's Day. And I thought we should sort of, in the way that we're trying to take back when the new year should be, we should take back who the fools really are and kick off the first January Fool's Day, where we make fun of people that think that the new year should start mid-breath.
No. Where it should start not on any equinoxes or any solstices or anything to do with the celestial bodies above us that tell us everything.
Just a random fucking midwinter.
Just a random January one, yeah. No, I mean, it goes without saying that is definitely Fool's Day. We agree.
Well, we're going to celebrate it hard on our show on Tuesday on TFR for sure. We're all going to pretend like we believe we're on the spinning space pair and that all the space lettuce is real. We're going to trick our listeners into thinking we've lost our freaking minds.
Yep, it's going to be a NASA love fest come Tuesday morning.
We should do like the Christmas show and just start calling everybody. It'll only be like 4 or 5 in the morning. It'll be all right.
That would be the grand prank. Yes, sir.
Ring, ring, ring. Ring,
January
ring.
Fools.
Hello. January Fools, you woke up. You're silly.
That was the show that I was begging you that I could come on, because I missed the other show the other week and you wouldn't let me because it was such a big show. So good luck with that one.
Heaven forbid we don't give you a shot in the morning.
You can beg and plead all you want, John. There's no way you're coming on.
Get on there, sir. No,
I know. I missed my chance. I missed my bleeding chance. Oh well, something to tell the grandkids. I nearly got on the Ironworks.
Almost
blew it.
You could send a question in.
Question would be, how do you make eggnog?
Oh, goodness. Don't even know how to make it. I just know how to drink it. And it's almost gone. The stores are emptying quick. Oh, the end of the year is so depressing. I have such a problem.
We know somebody who knows how to make eggnog.
I'm hoping he's reaching.
We talked about it a little last week, and I know that we had a recipe, I think, from somebody in chat. So I went and looked up some of the famous eggnog recipes. And here's what I got. I think this is probably by far the one that sounded the best. There were some really good ones out there. But if you listen, you'll see what the secret ingredient is. And it's got to be what really kicks off this eggnog recipe. There you go.
Wow.
Roasted
Whole
sesame.
cream. See, I use half and half, not whole cream. I never would have thought of that. Cool.
And eggnog's got 2 G's in it. That's really interesting. Can't argue with that, guys.
Yes, Arwen. Eggnog is evil. It has taken my soul.
But I thought that was such a brilliant recipe that it just lends credence to the brilliance that is Stephen Hawking. And I know he is such a wealth of information that I thought that we should start a little segment here where you guys have a question for Stephen. And my money says somewhere out there on the interwebs, he's already answered it. So you ask your question, I will go through and I will find Stephen Hawking's answer to that question, and I will answer it for you. I will play you Stephen Hawking's answer. It's as if he were still alive.
Well, he left such a wealth of information for us to discover, even after his passing. So,
well, it's crazy. It's just it's the way it's searchable. It's searchable by keywords. So you just put in the right keyword, and you can find any answer you want. I mean, it's like Ann Landers. He just went through and just did a whole column and just wrote out answers to questions he didn't know were going to be asked.
I've got a question, Josh. A science
Rob
one.
Wiggles figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it is based on the show, because even though I kind of proved it for myself, I'd like a little bit of proof before the year ends. And I wonder if you could ask Stephen if water is made of hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah. Let me search the database, because I'm reasonably sure I actually saw that while I was looking for an eggnog recipe, interestingly enough. Oh, there. I think I found it.
Got it.
I think. Is water H2O?
There you go.
Did he say Pete was full of shit?
I didn't want to repeat that, John.
I'm not sure.
Well, he didn't use those words exactly.
Isn't he? Little potty mouth.
Let's see. Yeah, I think we might have heard Peter and Pete are full of shit in there.
I'm rising above that stuff, Stephen.
But it was definitely something about electrolysis. I don't know.
Okay, Rob Wiggles in chat just figured it out. I can't believe we didn't see this. Are you seeing me on camera? Is everybody seeing me? All right, there it is. Eggnog. Of course, in Satan's world, we invert everything. Oh, shit. There it is. No more eggnog for me. Done. It's over.
That's not a sign. I don't know what is.
Put that up again. What was that? What was that? Eggnog, right? Gone GGE.
Look at the numbers.
Oh, 666.
Exactly.
Superstitious nonsense, eh?
There's got to be a way. Oh, no. Here's what we got to do here.
Christmas mega mix.
Stephen Hawking laughed.
Was that him trying to beatbox?
It's him laughing.
Oh, my God.
And laugh.
You know, just because you got Lou Gehrig's doesn't mean you don't have a sense of humor.
Coming to you from the burning depths of hell, it's Iron Realm Media. We're going there one way
or another.
One button away from hell.
I'm gonna find you.
So what else we got?
Well, you know, it's funny.
Nodding.
We have this huge database of things that Stephen Hawking has said, because Stephen Hawking has said lots of things. He has asserted many things. And I'll tell you what, scientists assert the darndest things. That's pretty funny. I made myself chuckle. But here's one that I think should be set down for the record books. This one made me actually laugh for a good long while every time I looked at this headline. Here it is. Scientists assert that hidden dimensions might exist in gravitational waves. And I tell you what, I chuckled and chuckled and chuckled at the wording of that. I mean, how many things can you just blatantly assert? And how many times do flat earthers get accused of just asserting things without providing any evidence? I mean, can you really provide evidence when you assert that something might happen? It might not. It just might. I don't know. And you can just assert that anything might happen, especially if you're talking about imaginary things like gravitational waves.
They even underlined it.
Did they mention a reason why they might think that?
Well, string theory has predicted the existence of hidden dimensions, but scientists have yet to find them. However, new work from researchers at the Max Planck Institute for Gravitational Physics of the Albert Einstein Institute, or AEI, indicates that hidden dimensions could have an influence on something that physicists can detect: gravitational waves. If this is true, studying those ripples in space-time might be the key that unlocks the mystery of hidden dimensions. The study explores the consequences of extra dimensions could have on gravitational waves and offers predictions about whether or not we might be able to detect their effects. Physicists have been looking for extra dimensions at the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, but up to now, this search has yielded no results. Second author of the study, Dr. Gustavo Luciana Gomez, said in a press release, but gravitational wave detectors might be able to provide experimental evidence.
So let me get this. Are we saying they might be able to find something that they haven't found, but they might have found a place that they might be able to find it if they had found it?
Exactly.
Right. And here's I think we have just invented a new drinking game for Fridays. Every time a scientist uses the word might, hard shot. If they use if, you can just do a little sip. But if it's might, definitely a shot.
Oh, wow.
In this one article alone, we'd be drunk by the third sentence.
Let's see. The hunt for extra dimensions is a consuming one because of what is at stake. Tiny dimensions that are hidden due to their diminutive size are a core concept of string theory. And
Hold up. If you've never seen it, how do you know they're small? Could be looking in the wrong spot. They could be really big. And you're looking under the sofa, aren't you?
It's like the blind man describing an elephant.
And
right.
It's behind the fridge.
Well, a skeptic would say they could be complete bullshit. And they're scrabbling their way out of the Big Bang.
Bullshit. Come on, be scientific. Might be complete bullshit.
Yeah, if...
Oh, here we go. Among the likely sources for a working theory of quantum gravity because of their diminutive size. Great. Scientists have been pursuing a theory of quantum gravity because it would unify general relativity and quantum mechanics, a goal which continues to elude physicists. That theory would be integral to our understanding of what happens inside black holes, how the Big Bang worked, and any other event that involves minuscule distance and huge masses.
These physicists must be a
LIGO!
desperate bunch. Aren't they? They must have a desperate life. They're just scrabbling around looking for fairy dust up their a-holes all career.
No, it's
And
not
knowing if they
gravity.
can't find it, that it's just all bullshit. Knowing that. I mean, that's why I made that little song thing for our morning show using that Italian
Well,
scientist whose
the
name
thing
has
is-
escaped me. He's constantly saying, if there's no dark matter out there, then we really have to think harder. I mean, basically, we just got to make more shit up.
But they can live and die and not find. I mean, they've only just found gravitational waves, so they claim with their nonsense. But they can live and die and not find these things, and still carry on thinking that they're on the right track. It's just what a waste of a life. That's all I can say. And
Yeah.
I was
These are bright
actually
people.
going to become an astrophysicist. I was going to do an astrophysics degree
Yeah.
at Exeter, and I'm so glad I didn't.
Well, a hadron collider is just like a big bit of plumbing, isn't it? Like mega plumbing.
Oh, shit, we're going to lose
If
John
it
to
even
the
exists,
HS. LHC, whatever.
if it even exists, I mean,
I've seen them dancing in it. I've seen them do their little ritual dances inside. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just like a monorail, like in one of them Bond movies. That's all
Yeah.
that's behind that big front bit.
yeah, it's just a big. It's just a big circular monorail. No, I'm not even sure if it even exists. I really don't care.
I'm
because
seeing the word given birth to Lisa. What's
Lisa is the in-space manifestation of LIGO.
Oh.
There you go. So LIGO, what they're detecting,
LIGO?
gravitational
Yes,
waves.
Lisa. Is the water warm enough? Yes, Lisa. Sorry. Shall we begin? Yes,
Like-
Lisa.
Are you
That's
happy
right.
to see me, or is that a gravitational wave in your pocket?
that wouldn't be much of a compliment, considering a gravitational wave that they detected was less than the size of a nucleus of an atom, as far as I can tell, and they spotted it from a billion light years away. I mean, this is a sort of
I've seen the
nonsense.
animation, John. How
This
can
is
you
just
doubt
have to suck up every day
John?
and defend.
John, mate. We as well said we saw a picture of things collide, spin around, pull a funny face, and then send this thing. So we knew it was coming.
A billion light years
That's what confirms
ago.
it, mate. Yeah, that confirms it. We knew it was
Well, I
coming.
think they've got it underlined here in the article exactly why this is important. Ever since LIGO first detected the gravitational waves emanating from a black hole binary in September of 2015, scientists have been looking for new ways to expand its use. LIGO has opened up a new area of astronomy. And that's when everybody just hears the sound of cash registers.
Cha-ching.
Yep. Having detected stellar mass black holes larger than 20 solar masses, LIGO has also given birth to LISA, in the in-space manifestation of LIGO, which will carry on the search for supermassive black holes and other phenomena. The research clarifies a new role for LIGO's observations of gravitational waves. We can use the tool not only to locate black holes, but also to more thoroughly research and explain gravity itself. For example, the relatively weak force of gravity may be the result of interactions with hidden dimensions. The team suspects that hidden dimensions, if they exist, would both modify standard gravitational waves and cause additional waves above 1,000 hertz. It seems unlikely that we would observe the latter phenomena, as if we can observe any of this phenomena, not from Earth. Introducing more than one detector into the mix might improve our chances.
Have we brought in a bell system now? Have you got a ring to say something?
I was going to ask if the bell was in my head. I was getting concerned.
Nope, that's when you know it's time to drink.
Oh, right. Damn it.
You guys drink. I'd be impressed. I'd be impressed if they could actually demonstrate the gravitational pull of the moon or the sun or something, rather than something 1,000 light years away.
Well, the Parker Space Probe is headed that way. I can't imagine that as it approaches the sun, we won't have some proof of the pull of the gravity that keeps all those little spinny space bears just a whirling around.
Oh, I'll have to keep an eye on Suspicious Observer.
So, with all that gravity, do you think it would crush the space probe first, or do you think the space probe would melt from all this heat?
It's got really thick, like cinder block stuff. I think I saw in the video, so shouldn't melt.
So, did anyone hear that Suspicious Observer has become a flat earther?
No, really, I did not.
I heard ripples.
Really?
Well, sort of if and maybe and possibly, and it's a theory, and
Right.
yeah,
I mean,
obviously,
I don't know if
absolutely
he
true.
does this for a profession. I'm not sure what he does. I don't
Oh, you
think this
heard it
is
here
his
first.
main income, though. I know he does like a 3-minute daily video. Just a real. He tries to do a real quick one.
Yeah.
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 That's what I loved about him. But I don't think it's like his main. It's not like his income.
See, there's the bit of break music. I knew it was coming up. And it looks like it's
Over to our sponsors.
Which this week apparently is Kroger, bringing you fresh food.
Comes from
That's some-
degrouting.
I did think that's a nice looking mix of cheesecake, though.
Dude, I was grubbed looking at it. Oh, my stomach's growling.
Yeah, no, I need.
We'll have to talk some cannabis news when we come back.
Ooh, that's
Speaking
nice.
of munchies.
Oh, what are you doing?
Wow, some interesting stuff. What was that? Oh, non-responsive. All right, do I need to get the guitar out?
Who's sharing their screen?
That's me.
All right.
I don't even want Windows Media Player.
Just hit that one button for perfection, because I think
That
we've just
perfection
about
button,
done the
yeah.
first half without. Well, no, we had one prairie dog sandstorm, didn't we?
I think I'm ready.
I've got a picture of a prairie dog.
Save it.
Is that a paradox? Never mind.
We'll be coming back to Zach's exclusive picture of a prairie dog. Don't miss it.
Say that, I'm gonna have to go get it now.
Are you killing the stream?
Zach's toilet game.
Yeah, we're gonna kill the stream, get a coffee.
So we are killing it.
Yep, we're gonna kill it. Come back, so we have actually.
Okay, so everybody that's in chat and all those who are watching right now, don't think we're gone. We're not gone. We're gonna play some lovely music for you, and we will be right back here on Have No Sphere.
I don't know why it's
Just about to congratulate you there.
it's not doing anything.
It was such a lead in. It was brilliant. You hit it
Yeah.
on perfect timing. It was DJ approved.
It was. Followed that meticulous script we spent all this week
I know.
following. Now you've missed it.
I did figure out how to play songs this morning. So
Completely unresponsive. It's doing nothing now. Thanks.
shut up.
I can play us out, but you guys will
Shut-
just have to keep an ear on YouTube.
I think I'll
well.
kill my stream.
So are we still live right now?
No. No. Yes, I mean, I've not killed nothing.
Rasta hat.
Nope,
If
I
there's
mean-
anything, this is classic IRM.
Oh, geez. That's great.
Right, I reckon I've saved it. So if you guys mute, I'll play us out with a bit of gravity.
All right, I will mute. Love you. Thank you all.
Josh can read it.
Jesus.
Right, guys. Better press play, I know. We'll see you after the break, everyone. Now my desktop's not working. I tell you what, we'll come back with a bit of gravity. I'm going to have the feed. I can hear it. It's brilliant. I love this song. Let go of me. Right, I'll see you after the break.